Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the best editing sensitivity to be using in Fortnite. I'm going to be showing you guys all the best editing sensitivities for each of the different sensitivities for vertical and horizontal, because when it comes to your building and editing sensitivity, it's a multiplier. So I want to be showing you guys all the best editing sensitivities for all the different settings in this game. And real quick, before I get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want 2,000 free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to be giving you guys the best editing sensitivities in my opinion. So I'm going to give you guys my recommendations when it comes to all the different sensitivities in this game and which editing sensitivity is going to be best for you. Because I know a lot of you guys do play on different sensitivities. Some of you guys play on a little bit lower, some of you guys play on a little bit higher. So I want to give you guys some very good settings for each sensitivity. So I want to do in increments of 5. So if you play in between a 40% and a 45% horizontal and vertical speed, I would say the edit mode sensitivity, well, I guess first, the edit mode and build mode sensitivity, it's a multiplier to what your horizontal and vertical is. So if you play on a 40 to 45%, I would recommend for your edit mode sensitivity that you play anywhere between a 1.9 and a 2.1. I always do recommend for your build mode sensitivity that you always keep it at either the same or lower than your edit mode sensitivity. You really don't want to have your building sensitivity higher than your editing. It just makes everything feel super awkward and super weird. So you want to have your building sensitivity either the same or lower. So when you're on a 40 to 45%, this is definitely on the low side of sensitivity. I'm not going to go below 40% because I would say at least 40% is probably the lowest you would even want to consider, unless you maybe have an insanely high editing and building sensitivity. But at the same time, when you're playing on like at least you're playing a minimum of 40%, it's still very hard to turn around, and I don't really recommend playing on, let's say I don't even go below like a 45. But if you do play on this low sensitivity, I would recommend anything from a 1.9 to maybe a 2.1 editing sensitivity. You can even go a little bit higher than that because you are on a low sensitivity. So going into about 45% to 50% if you play in this range. My ideal sensitivity is about a 2. I really do like, because in between like a 45 and 50, that's kind of like a mid-range, not necessarily in the higher. It could be, you can consider it a little bit on the higher end, but it's not too much. It's just a little bit, I would say either medium or maybe just above medium sensitivity. And if you are on this sensitivity, you probably are looking to have at least a little bit faster editing speed. So I would recommend about a 2. You can obviously go up to 2.1, and you have to really consider though, because when I say in between 45 and 50, if you play on like a 47, it's going to feel different than if you played on a 50. So if you played on a 47, maybe you want to be on a 2.1, but if you're on 50%, maybe you'd want to be on a 2. But for these sensitivity, I probably recommend, I would say you can try 1.9. I like 2 or 2.1 just for this range because it gives me enough speed, especially for myself who plays tryhards every single game. I do like to be on a little bit on the higher end when it comes to building and editing, because I feel like I do need that speed when I'm playing against these players. So you can really try out and see for yourself. I'm guessing most of you guys play in between like a 45% and a 60%, but I will also be going into higher sensitivities in this video. But for that 45% to 50% range, anywhere between, you can say the same thing, 1.9 and 2 is going to be the move. So going into 55% to 60%, now this one's a little bit higher. You probably want to drop your editing multiplier down to maybe like a 1.8 range. You don't want to go too high, because the higher your X and Y sensitivity, ideally the lower your building multiplier and editing multiplier you want to go, because you don't want to have editing that's too out of control. Obviously this is still going to be on a little bit of the high end. As you can see, I'm able to edit extremely fast on this sensitivity. So it's still a little bit on the higher end. You can even go a little bit lower than what I'm showing you, but it is still to keep in mind that these are just suggestions. These are the sensitivities that I would probably recommend and use for myself if I did play on, say, a 60% for my horizontal and vertical speed. So if you play on a 65%, you probably want to drop it down maybe 1 point, or maybe you can even drop it down to either 1.7 or 1.6. So you can kind of see the correlation. The higher you go for your X and Y sensitivity, the lower you want to go for your editing. Now, as far as some people do prefer a little bit higher, so they could be on like a 60% and maybe still play like a 1.8 because they really like that extra speed. But I feel like these settings are a really good baseline and a really good recommendation for the majority of you players who like a good balance in between being very quick, but also you have to understand that the quicker you go on your sensitivity, the less control that you have. So you really have to find that good balance, and I feel like these settings are some very good balances. So say you want to play in between a 65 and 70%, which I've seen some of you guys do, I would probably recommend about the same, or maybe just a little bit lower, because these are definitely on the quick side. I would recommend probably maybe a 1.5 range, because these are really quick. Now these settings, if you play on this high, you're probably one of those players who likes to play a lot of creative, maybe likes to play a lot of arena and wants to be very good at tunneling, maybe very fast when it comes to those quick edits that you need to make. So it could obviously make sense. So if you play on a 70 to 75%, at this point, you're probably going into the really low ranges for your building and editing, so you can still have some control. But for this range, if you want to play in the high end, you can play 1.4, but I would probably for myself be on either a 1.3 editing or a 1.2. I would be in that range when it comes to the building and editing on this sensitivity. That way it's slow enough to control, but your X and Y sensitivity is high enough if you're the type of player who likes high sensitivities, likes the flick shot, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like these sensitivities are a very good balance. I'm able to edit just fine. I'm able to have the control that I need while also still being as quick as possible. So going into the last range, so we have the 75% to 80%. Now if you play on this, like this is probably extremely high settings. Not too many people play on like 80%. There's a handful of creative warriors who do, but at this range, you're probably down to like the 1.1 building, and if you're editing, probably like the 1.2 to maybe 1.1 range. If you really want to be fast, you can maybe bump it up to like a 1.4, but that would be extremely quick. But in this range, I think it's going to be very good for those of you players who play in the 75 per 80%. Now that is extremely high sensitivity. There's not really too many people. Like I said, I've seen a few creative warriors who play on an 80 plus. I don't think I've really seen anybody on a 90 plus, but around that range is probably where you're going to max out for your X and Y sensitivity. And you really shouldn't even be on these type of settings unless you're playing 240 FPS. Otherwise, it's just going to be way too hard to control on console. But for those of you guys who play on higher than 80%, you might as well just put up your sensitivities all the way up, because I honestly can't help you. If you play on that high of a sensitivity, that's absolutely insane. It actually reminds me, I saw a comment the other day. Someone said they played on maximum building sensitivity, and this right here is maximum building sensitivity. I don't know how the hell some of you guys play on this, but for those of you guys who play on the ridiculously high sensitivity, to be honest with you guys, I can't control. I don't know how you do. But I mean, if you just look at the sensitivity, it's absolutely insane. I don't know how anybody controls this. I mean, I can't even look up and down. Like, look how fast, I'm probably turning fast than the PC players in my lobby. Like, I swear to you, I don't even think keyboard players turn that fast. Like, this is insanity. But anyway, those are pretty much all my recommendations for the sensitivities that I use. Like I said, if you play above an 80%, you might as well just jack everything up, because you just like the craziest, highest sensitivities in the game. But for the normal people that watch this video that are looking for some good recommendations, the other recommendations I would recommend, now if I did play, say, on a 55%, 60%, those are the building and editing sensitivities that I would most likely be using, because I feel like it's a good balance in between being very quick and also being very consistent and accurate with your building and editing. But with that being said, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video. And every Friday when I announce the V-Buck giveaway winner, you guys can stay notified. And as well, if you guys haven't come by my live streams yet, make sure you guys do. I stream every single day here on this channel at about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, give or take. Sometimes I'm eating dinner until a little bit later, but I stream about 6 o'clock every single day here on this channel. If you guys want to watch me play solos, if you guys just want to watch me play, definitely come by my live streams. A ton of fun. I interact with the chat a ton, so definitely come by my live streams. Like I said, 6 o'clock every single day. Definitely come by my live streams if you guys don't already. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.